Hey everybody, it's me Ryan Tanguma, and this tutorial is going to show you how to create a seemingly 3D head transition in Macromedia Flash 8 using masking, motion tween, and shape tween. I am doing this tutorial because one of my friends is trying to get more skills in Macromedia Flash and asked me what this would be like. So first is making a mask on layer 6. Layer 6 is a cover layer because under it we'll have the things that need to be masked. And layer 1 is also the same thing. That way when you mask, oh, I just undid it. That way when you mask and you drag these in, they do this. And if you try to drag them out, they would end up disappearing. So undo all that because that's not what it's showing me. And if you got rid of layer 1, they would just do this. And again, that's not what you want. So now go to frame 10 and press insert keyframe. Then over here, I have a pre-made symbol, which is the front view head. Go into it and copy it, paste it, paste, and this part is where you need to align it. To align something, you take this part and drag it until a large line over here appears. That tells you it's aligned. And just do that to all of the sides. Then you need to drag it in symmetrically, which is done by holding Alt and dragging. Sometimes it won't let you do that for some reason, which I don't know why. But then you take layers 6 and 1 of the 3/4 head on frame 10. Move them and paste the front view head right here and on layer 6. And just get rid of those because they're not needed. If, like it shows right here, it seems a little large, so a little thin. So just Alt and drag out again. Okay. Now it'll look like this. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to be stopping the recording sometimes because some things aren't working out right. So anyways, now time to move on. What I'm going to do now is drag it to where it latches onto an area, which lets you know that a path is not entirely connected. Those are useful when you're trying to get stuff aligned a bit. So in this part, I'm going to drag the mouth and the nose kind of to the center. It may not be exactly the center in some parts, but I'm not too worried about that. Then you gotta focus on aligning the eyes. and getting them symmetrical since it is front view. This part's pretty easy because, like I showed everybody with my last video, you can take a line, copy it, paste and reverse. But instead of getting rid of this one, I'm just going to align it and then get rid of the copied version. I'm going to bring them in a bit. Okay, now that that's done, I gotta trim this down because because it looks weird having a nose that shows throughout that entire length. So I'll have it about here. So now after you're done editing this, just go back here and press copy. Copy all of them. Copy frames. Go to layer. Go to frame 20. Paste frames. And luckily on this one it's a lot easier to manage. So because all you gotta do is select all and just flip it vertical or horizontal. They screwed it up. They screwed up the terms on some of these, so it's kind of weird. Let's see. No. You gotta make sure that the eye is completely correct in the same layer. Since the right eye, which looks like the left eye on our view, is on layer 2, you gotta keep it on layer 2. Because when you motion tween, they'll just swap places whenever you do that. As you can see, this eye got switched to layer 3, while this eye is on layer 2. Just swap them around. Oh, no. First you take this one, paste in place and reverse, and align it with this eye. Then you take this one and you align it with this eye. You do this because right now the eyes are facing towards the left. As you can see here, they're looking somewhere over here. So if you want to keep it to looking left, you gotta make sure that the irises are still facing this direction, even though now it seems like they're looking at you. Okay, so after we get this done comes the trickier part, which is getting the tweenings to look correct. First, what you do is you create a motion tween on both of these, but instead of just motion tween, after you do that, go down here. Hold on. You gotta select the frame, then where it says tween, switch it from motion to shape. My mom popped in. She was like, "Who are you talking to? Everybody that views this video." Okay, so after you swap the motion tweens and change them to shape tweens, hide layer 6, and on layer 1 you still have the vector version. because once you turn it into a motion tween, it changes the object from a vector symbol to a graphic symbol, or graphic, movie clip, or whatever. But for motion tweens, they're tweened using the vectors. So you gotta make sure that the tweened objects remain vector. And then move that. Paste. And then hide these, that way only layer 6 is showing. And you get to see that it has a pretty good transition. Which, if you want to cut down on time, then that is very useful instead of making complete frame-by-frame animation. It's very good to, it's good to use frame-by-frame animation, but at the same time, if you want to also cut down on time, motion tweening is useful. So now that we have that done, hide layer 6 again. And now we need to focus on the other layers. Layer 2 and 3, create motion tween. And again. And see, this is the part I was talking about. The eyes, hold on. The eyes move good here, but as soon as you get to here, they flip around. That is because layer 3, this eye should not be on layer 3, it should be on layer 2, and layer 2's eye should be on layer 3. And now it looks like this. Which again, even you could probably notice it looks pretty good. If you want to make it look more correct, because inside this symbol the iris is reversed, and just flip the iris around. That way it looks like the light source is coming from over here. After that, you focus on the mouth. I'm focusing on the nose last because that thing's actually giving me the most amount of problems. The mouth is pretty easy because you can just create a motion tween. If you want to make it look more correct though, you may want to bring it out a bit to show that it's coming closer. And then going further. If the mouth seems a little low, click this which says edit multiple frames, and since everything else is locked, select all and just drag it up a bit. Then hide edit all frames, or multiple frames, and it'll look like this. So now the last thing we need to focus on is the nose. Okay, time for the nose. Like I said before, the nose is the thing that's been giving me the most trouble during this tutorial. So, first insert keyframes around here. And get rid of this part. Well, get rid of this nose first, but after you take a line and you align it to the nose. This will serve pretty much as the median Again, like I said, for symmetrical issues, having a median is the best thing to have. Okay. And select all, and paste in place, reverse, and drag this part over there, erase again, and drag this over there, paste in place, and get rid of this and these. That way this pretty much serves as the middle, the front view nose, which in some anime it may appear as a more defined nose. Other anime they just make it a line. In some anime they don't have any. So it's personal preference. Then this one's not exactly following the tween, so first what we're going to do is take this, turn it into a symbol, copy, and paste, and align it to here. Paste. And go over here, paste in place, reverse, align it. And move this. And here you basically just make sure that it is pretty symmetrical, because this part seems like it moves a little much. And you don't really have to focus on this. This is just me being OCD. I like things to look correct and neat. Okay, then move this, paste, get rid of this, and then create a motion tween, create a motion tween, and hopefully it'll look correct. This part looks incorrect, so flip over. Kind of obvious it would look incorrect if it's a reverse broken nose. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And once you got everything down correctly, it should look something like this. Go here and press test C. Something wrong. Control test scene. Why is the person's head gone? This is actually a problem I've never had before. I'm just hoping that it's a fluke. Save. And stop recording for now. Hopefully this really isn't something like a fluke. Back and found out the issue. Layer 1 is masked. I'm not sure why. I don't remember masking it, but you do not want layer 1 masked when layer 6 needs it. So now you can test scene, and there's how your head transition will look. However, because I have 30 frames per second, it seems fast, because it is actually 0.6 seconds. So in order to solve that, you just insert more frames. And the main thing is you got to make sure that you insert the same amount of frames, because you want it to seem like the head is moving at the same speed. And it just makes it seem smoother. Then your end result will be this, which looks pretty good. Now, there is one thing, which is fine-tuning the tween, because although the head shape and everything, the movement of the eyes and the nose and stuff looks good, the issue is mainly with the eyes and the nose. See, because once you get to the end, it'll look like this, which it hides the eye pretty proportionally. Unfortunately, it does not do so for the eyebrow, which can pose a big problem if you want it to look more proportional, but it's kind of a nuisance to try to deal with it because it's a symbol. And if you were to try to edit the eyebrow only, the eye would drag in as well, which makes it look very distorted. So I'll just leave that to the other animator's discretion. If you want to fine-tune it, go ahead. If you would rather just carry on with the animation, go ahead as well. Anyways, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and if you did, please subscribe and comment below if you have another question about Macromedia Flash, or anything inside of it. And so that's it. So, ciao mata!